Hey, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today I want to talk about this power creeping issue and the issue they were trying to avoid in global. Now, you may have heard some other content creators also doing this. I know 𝙀�ㄍ𝙋 has also made a video about it, which was absolutely a fantastic video, right from the heart. Completely agree with everything that she said. Go check it out. I'm probably flashing on screen. But I want to talk about what you should do from me to you, from someone who has played some of the CN and is mainly free to play ish on the CN and then plays global on top of it, on what I think you should maybe pull and then maybe not pull on anything. So this is gonna be a little bit of a rant, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, quick little disclaimer, this video is all over the place, so I have a lot of good points stretched out through the whole video. I highly suggest you watch. I apologize, this is unscripted. Okay, I get a lot of questions. What should I do? Where should we go? You know, 2.0 is on the horizon of being done. We have 3.0. We have all those characters from 3.0 that were just shown. And most people have been playing the game since day one or have been playing for a decent amount of time. So if you have been doing that, you probably have your base character sets, whether it be a Volt set, whether it be a Fire set. Now that we have land, so land or Fire is essentially completed. Physical is just physical, which sorry to be physical until you have 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙍, which I don't even know if you should still pull her, but you usually have your Volt set, or you have Alice and Saki and Lyn, and most people have Lyn because Lyn was a must pull. And that kind of gets me to where we're going here. Should you pull anything else in 2.0? No, except for maybe one character. Now there's a lot of characters coming out, 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙍, 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙋𝘼𝑔, 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝑔, and they're all great. And I'll show you here in just a second how even 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙍 helped my CN team, but there's nothing to do in the game, unfortunately, right now. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. So if you go over to your Void Abyss, most people are getting Void Abyss 6 down relatively easy, especially in this rotation. If you go over to the new raids, people are getting the new raids down, assuming you're doing the mechanics correctly, but all you need is 1 or 2 semi-stacked DPS in order to get through it. Origins of War, people are progressing through that. I'm already at 15 and we barely played it. There's already people that have cleared it. So, and the fact that it gets easier and easier. Now, the only thing to compete against that even I'm super lazy about is bygone ranking. That's the only reason to whale out, and that's not even a reason to whale out anymore. Who cares if you get to level 600 before someone else? Who cares? Unless you're that 1%, that one person, it doesn't really matter, right? You'll get there eventually with the way that power scaling works. Now, there is the sequential phantasm, and this brings me to my big point of what you should do. So let me go over to my other side here. All right. Here we are over on my CN account, and I run a very similar setup on my CN account. Now, my favorite build of all time that I just want to kind of throw out there is we can do, let's go ahead and set it up. You can do this setup right here, which is effectively the mommy comp, one of the mommy comps. But I'm running double altered, mainly because you can get altered stance, which gives you effectively 30% additional attack across the board, but it works for everything. It's going to work for sequential. It's going to work for bygones. It's going to work for everything. And here's the best part is if you pull Fiona and you have Lyn, so if you don't have Lyn, just wait for the next altered, pull Fiona, wait for the next altered, who's probably going to be T-Mommy and 3.0 and all that goodness. You can plug and play single element. There's no reason to mono element really anymore unless you're trying to do that top 1% to 10% damage. Who cares? What you're mostly doing joint operations and stuff like that. None of it matters. So you can just plug and play whatever you want. You want to put Ruby in there? Sure. You want to put Claudia in there? That's actually a really good comp. Claudia, Fiona, Lyn, perfectly fine. You want to put Fenrir in there? Sure. You want to put Annabella in there? You want to put Land in there? Absolutely perfect. This is the best part of this comp, is that you no longer have to keep fishing for new characters. You don't have to pull 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙍. You don't have to pull 𝙀𝙑𝙍𝙍𝙍. You don't have to pull 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙍𝙍. Well, you may have to pull 𝙀𝙓𝙍 because physical is just in a sad state, unfortunately. But outside of physical, if you're a physical main, you can now pivot anywhere you want to go. And this sets you up for success for 3.0, because in 3.0, you're going to have all those new characters. We all know that they're going to super power creep their way into 3.0. And I know what you're probably saying. Oh, but Kyrios, power creep is always going to be a thing. You're right. It is always going to be a thing. But you have to pick and choose your battles, right? You can't always be chasing power creep, especially when there's no new content to do, which is, you know, once again, a good and a bad thing. We don't always have to have this really super hard content for free to play and low spenders to progress in. So what am I saying? I'm saying you should not pull. You shouldn't really spend any money. You shouldn't really get any of these new characters unless you really want to. Now, do I love 𝙀𝙑𝙋𝘼𝙉 just for the fact that you can fly like a jetpack? Of course I do. Of course I do. But if you've already invested heavily and you've already put a decent amount of money into this game, the only one you really need to get is Fiona, because that's going to set you up for success. And I bet you there's going to be a triple altered in 3.0 anyways. All right, quickly talking about Fiona, since that's who I'm pretty much telling you that you only need, especially if you have Lyn, right? It's that altered resonance. Look at this. Increases attack by 30%. Activated when you have 2 or more altered weapons. This is a perfectly viable thing to do. Run double altered and then just run anyone else, right? And you don't even need that many stars on her. She's actually one of the best free-to-play characters in the game at A0. And it opens you up to be a support on top of that. So if you wanted to run something like Nemesis, Fiona, whoever, even Lyn, at that point, you could be a support with that combination. Now, I'd still run 0, but I digress on that. That's for a whole different conversation. But you really don't need much. Honestly, I mean, A1 would be nice, A3 would be nice, but none of this is needed. None of this is needed unless you're Unga Bunga. And once again, if you're Unga Bunga, you're a whale. So anyways, let's flip on back. So I would just be careful pulling from now on. And the way that we've seen power creep happen, where every single character is like 30% to 40%, you know, better. And you know, Fenrir was game changing. Lan is technically game changing. Icarus is going to make Frost do Unga Bunga damage 100%. Janono is just you hold left click and win situation and slap things with tentacles. Are they cool characters? Yes, but you need to stop chasing it. Is there anything in the game that you really can't do? I mean, that's the question you have to ask yourself. So I don't know where to really end this video. They've really messed up the power creep. They went from being really good at balancing to completely just throwing out the window. And that's mainly because Global and CN are trying to merge back down into each other. If you have not seen the trend in CN, even though CN's power creep is still going up, if you haven't seen the trend in CN with their gear, with Titan and everything, you can see that they're removing elemental properties. I can actually show that real quick. If you go into any of our gear here, you can see I used to have elemental, what's a good example here? Elemental visors, right? I had Volt elemental visors, but then that phase 1 Titan, it just makes it just flat, straight attack. So what's happening is CN's trying to normalize their gear while Global has already normalized their gear. So at some point in 3.0, I can only imagine, maybe even 4.0, we're going to have this convergence where CN and Global are almost the exact same. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep their CN community happy with raising enough power creep that people keep pulling without going too far. But now you got to have Global increase their power creep, which is not the best approach either, especially considering they're not being honest. Like, it'd be one thing if Tower of Fantasy came out, be like, yo, dude, we got to do some power creep because we got to merge these. We're trying to catch up, right? In order to do that power creep, we're going to give you guys 40 red nucleuses every single time a character comes out because we know that just sucks bananas and stuff like that, right? But they're not with the acceleration we've been on and the lack of resources they keep giving us on this acceleration, even though they keep saying they're giving us more materials, they're really not. I mean, I played a lot of other gacha games, and whenever they have to do like double the speed, you usually get double the amount of resources. We don't get double. That's just the fact. So pull Fiona, in my opinion. We'll have some other videos about Icarus and all these other characters coming out. If you're a whale, you're gonna whale. But if you're free to play, stop stressing about it. If you're light spender, stop stressing about keeping that optimized meta team. You're probably doing fine. And Fiona, if you already have Lyn, Fiona is just gonna make all your team comps do better. So anyways, that's all I've really got. Hopefully that kind of cleared it up for you. And I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll see you on the live streams. If you guys can, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Once again, I'll see you out there, and fist bump from me to you.